Welcome to the Bettis Musgrove Show, the podcast where personal injury legal expertise meets real-world advice to empower and protect you. Join us as we delve into the critical aspects of personal injury cases, break down legal jargon into actionable insights, and share essential safety tips to help you navigate life's unexpected moments. And now, here are your hosts, Spenser Bettis and Ben Musgrove.
All right, so welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of the Bettis Musgrove Show. As always, I'm Ben Musgrove. This is my law partner, Spenser Bettis. We come to you every couple of weeks just to talk about the community we live in and everything that's going on in Cumming and the state of Georgia. To date, our most popular episode has been when we took the show on the road to Bottom's Tree Farm and told you a little bit about them. So we thought we would do that again and go on the road. And today we are at Crooked Culture Brewing. We figure if anybody likes anything better than Christmas trees, it's probably beer. So we're going to come talk to you a little bit about beer today and everything going on here. And we're honored to be joined by Mr. Patrick Leonard, who is the brains and the brawn behind Crooked Culture Brewing. He is an absolutely great guy doing a lot here in Cumming. And it turns out that he and I have a mutual friend and a guy named Andy Pollock. I found that out doing some Facebook stalking. So I called Andy and I let him write your intro, and I will read you what Andy says about you. He says that he knows you through a guy named Adam Clements, who he believes you lived with and brewed beer with while you guys were in college.
That's right.
And everybody else played cards while you guys brewed beer. He says you're arguably one of the funniest guys he's ever met.
Awesome.
And that means a lot coming from Andy because he's a pretty funny guy himself. He says you're an unbelievably talented carpenter, painter, and a drummer. That you've got two boys who are absolutely awesome at baseball.
Yeah.
And that you had the single greatest call-in performance to the Mark Lemke show, where you discussed how proud Pete Orr and Jeff Francoeur's parents must have been.
That's right, Frank Orr and Pete Orr.
He literally laughed about that for 5 minutes telling me about it. So, well, that's awesome. So tell us who you are really and what you're doing and everything that's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's who I am. I just brew beer, make jokes, play drums, and have kids.
Awesome. Good pastimes.
Yeah. Now, as far as brewing goes, I was a few of us were trying beer that we couldn't get in Georgia at the time.
Yeah.
Actually, Adam's older brother was already brewing beer. And so that's where we saw it. And I didn't know beer could be made in your living room floor in a carboy.
Right.
But we thought that was pretty cool and had to try it. So we did. We bought a homebrew kit from Brew Depot in Alpharetta. I think we started after work one day, 6 o'clock, started brewing, and I think we were done by about 4 a.m. But we're not prepared at all to make it the right way. Didn't have any kind of way to chill the beer, and we had no clue what we were doing.
What was the first batch? Any good at all?
No, but we drank it. No, it was terrible. And it's a good thing because that's what made us better.
Yeah.
No, it was terrible. And it took, because we brewed it and we bottled, had to ferment and then bottle condition it.
Right.
So then, by the time we do this, we have, 50 bottles of beer. And it was disgusting. But we drank it anyway and we shared it with our friends. But the good thing is, like I said, it wasn't any good. So we were like, man, if we're going to do this again, let's learn what we're doing. Yeah. Let's read up on it. Let's get the proper equipment. And so every time we brewed, we just add a little bit more, knowledge, a little bit more equipment. And then, the beer started being better. But then we kind of were, it was hard because we were all single at the time. And after we started dating people, getting married, we didn't brew that much anymore together. That's where I got the equipment. And I started brewing more, started putting stuff into competitions, started winning competitions pretty regularly. I mean, I was actually, I still can't explain why I would win medals over other people, but I don't know. I have a high attention to detail. I think just like with the carpentry stuff, if you're a trim carpenter, you have attention to detail. So I really cared about making good beer. I'm a very competitive person. I'm probably the most competitive person I know and competitive to a fault. So I just wanted to be better at it. So it kind of turned into a pretty serious hobby. And then in 2008, when the housing market crashed, I was in construction and there wasn't the job. So I was brewing pretty heavily, drinking pretty heavily. Not drinking that heavily.
Taste it, so isn't it good?
Get high on your own supply.
That's right. But so anyway, I started working at Jekyll Brewing.
Okay.
As their
Josh
head
Rachel,
brewer. Yeah, Josh is a good buddy of mine. Yep. And so, he was at the homebrew store that I'd get all the stuff from. And so they hired me to be the head brewer as employee number 1 over there. And things just took off for them. And really, I was like, I'm not going to be a career brewer. Right. I'm just going to do this until the housing market turns back around. I'm going to go do that again, which I still love doing. But I was really good at that. And at the time, the craft beer scene was really taking off.
Yeah.
And, people were starting to know who I was. And so when Jekyll kind of had gotten a little bit too big for my comfort level,
Sure.
I wanted to kind of go, they were really ramping
They
up.
had huge success pretty quickly.
Yeah, very, very quickly. Yeah. And so there was a lot of employees, a lot of people working overnight. And so for me, it was just the work-life balance wasn't there. So
Right.
I was like, well, I'll start doing some brewery consulting. Hooked up with the guys over at Gate City. Another one of our, Andy and my buddy is one of the owners at Gate City.
Yeah, they're down in Roswell. Right?
They are, right in downtown Roswell. Yeah, they have an awesome place down there. So I went over and I was like, let me help y'all kind of get your feet under you. And, 6 months, and then I'm going to try to maybe start my own brewery.
Yeah.
And I was there for 5 years.
Wow.
So I was there at head brewer for 5 years. And then that's like right when COVID was happening. And I was already putting together like plans for, a brewery. Didn't know exactly where it was going to be, but I knew that I was 40 at the time.
Okay.
I just kind of knew that, it was like, I got to do this now or I'm going to be too old for it. So, this is a lot of work.
Sure, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, and then, I had kids that were young teenagers. And so I was like, man, I just don't want to do this. I want to do it where they can kind of see me do it.
Right.
Started doing that. COVID hit and kind of hit pause on that for a little bit. And then when the City Center was announced and I live right down the street, I was like, man, this would be an awesome place to do this right in my backyard. So that's how we, kind of pursued this place. At the time, I think someone else was trying to come in here. Another brewery was trying to come in here and they backed out and we kind of took over. So that brings me to, why I'm here in the City Center with the brewery.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So where's the name come from?
So we were, two things. One is when you're home brewing, in your garage and you have two little boys, you have to do it late at night.
Right.
Because you're out there boiling, you're boiling stuff, you have hot stuff, you want to see the kids. So they would go to bed and I would start brewing late at night. And people, cops would drive by, shine flashlights in my garage. And I don't know, they probably thought I was cooking meth or something. And I say meth podcast.
Yeah, you say meth.
You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
You're following a state court judge. This is the next episode.
Yeah, but I get it. I'm sitting in there, burners are going right on the, edge of my driveway and everything. And so, my neighbors probably thought that I was over there doing something totally wrong. Right. And then the other thing too is, really when we started this place, we wanted, we do we use a lot of different yeasts here.
Yeah.
We think that, yeast can really impart flavors into beers. The times, temperatures, amounts of yeast dosages and everything can really change the way a beer tastes. And so the other thing that we really wanted to do was to capture wild yeast. Yeast is everywhere.
Right.
But we wanted to get it from outside and domesticate it. Not like wild yeast, like Cool Ships, where it falls in there and you get the funky flavors. We wanted to go out there and really try to discover new strains of yeast. So the Crooked Culture, culture of yeast, it was just it's not just a bag of your Chico ale yeast that's, neutral and doesn't really drive a lot of flavors. So, kind of a two-part name there.
That's cool. Yeah. Tell us about how you came to be here in the city center.
Yeah. So again, my, I've lived in Cumming since my parents moved up here when I was 15.
Okay.
So I was up here when it was like cow pastures and, to get to the grocery store, you had to, pack a lunch and, change clothes and all that stuff. So, gravel roads everywhere. So, it was like it felt like it was the end of the world. I never thought I was going to settle here in Cumming. My plan was my parents were going to live here and I was going to live down in Atlanta, like I did for a little while. And, but when I started at Jekyll, we bought a house in Cumming. Because they're right there in North Alpharetta.
Yeah.
So we bought a house, and as my boys started playing baseball, I started making a bunch of friends here. And now, there's a buddy of mine. He's walking. Actually, he's right back there.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I know Matt.
My buddy Matt. Yeah, so he's in here all the time. Not drinking, just working.
Sure. If his employer's watching, anyway.
That's right. Working hard. No, but so he became a buddy of mine through sports. I coached his kid in flag football. Our kids played baseball on the same team. And, as we were doing this, and I was looking all over. I was looking down to Chamblee. Sure. I was looking down to Decatur. I was looking over in Woodstock and Canton, all these places, just because I thought that there was maybe better opportunity because there wasn't a city center here in Cumming. You have the downtown, which is the downtown. And then when they started building this, I was like, all right, this is something I can get behind.
Yep.
But downtown Woodstock was great. Chamblee at the time was really, starting to, kind of get righted in the way that they were doing things. But I wanted to be here doing it with my friends, with
makes
the
sense.
people that I know. So that's what brought me to the city center.
Backtracking a little bit. So you lived in Georgia your whole life?
I have.
Okay. Yeah. You went to UGA and Georgia College, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And you said you went into construction after college, so you weren't doing this?
Yeah.
Originally?
No. Yeah. So I went and got an education and then started renovating and flipping houses on my own. So
Works.
yeah. And I loved it. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Talking about the carpentry stuff, did
Yeah.
you do any of the carpentry here in the?
I did, yeah. So a lot of this shiplap I hung
Okay.
with some of my guys. But yeah, I was cutting and handing to them. They were nailing it. All the booths out there I built. I didn't build those cabinets. I built these tables.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful spot.
These things came 12 by 12 by 16. I mean, and they were wet when we got them. I mean, they were so heavy, and just cutting through this was, it was a nightmare.
Would you use chainsaw?
No, I should have used a chainsaw. I used a circular saw, and then I finished it off with a reciprocating saw.
So I have zero carpentry ability at all. I mean, I built my kids. I just sent them a picture of it. Built them like a little thing to hang their princess dresses in. It leans about 2.5 feet in one direction. Still holds dresses, but it looks terrible.
Well, don't look too close. I mean, some of the wood as it's dried out as kind of the gaps have opened up, so I need to reset them. But
it looks like it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
good for the spot. Well, how many beers are in production here right now?
So we have 14 drinks that we make
Okay.
at a time. And one of those is a seltzer, always a seltzer, fruited seltzer for the gluten-free folks.
Yeah.
And then we have, usually 1 to 2 sours. We're heavy into hops. I mean, we love hops here.
Yeah.
So like even our lagers are hoppy lagers. Most of them are hoppy lagers. There's a couple like that. The Hellas that you're drinking, that one's not very hoppy, but we love IPAs. So yeah, 14 beers that we make all the time. But there's a handful that we keep on. Everybody has a Tractor. That's our flagship, kind of IPA right there. It's in distro right now. Hippies from the 1800. That's a hoppy lager, a Bohemian Pilsner. But then the other ones we're just constantly rotating.
Yeah. Well, you can see for what I'm drinking here with the sour.
Yeah,
I'm not much of a beer guy at all. Like,
Yeah.
if I have a beer, it's a mid culture probably. I mean, I get made fun of a lot for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Here I am with my fancy little glass here.
Yeah.
Tell us about the glasses, because the camera can see it, we all have different glasses.
That's right.
Every beer you serve is something different.
Every beer has its own unique glass. Sometimes like if that's one of our sour glasses. So we just changed that's literally the first day it's been on. So we just brewed it. It went on today, but like there was another one on a couple days ago that was in that same glass. But yeah, if I see people walking around, I know what everybody's drinking. I better know because and my bartender messes it up, and I'm like, who poured this guy this drink? Everything has proper glassware. So if you're drinking a Kolsch, which is like a German hybrid beer, it's in a Stange. That's what it's called, a Stange. I was told that by the glass guy. But it's a very thin cylindrical glass. So,
does the shape of the glass make it taste different?
It can.
They claim like wine, you drink it in certain glasses based on the.
Yeah, I mean, if you're chugging them, it's probably not going to do that. But there's some stuff like this right here, like this cup, this glass right here. It kind of like focuses like all the aromas out, and so if it was like a real wide bowl, it wouldn't focus the aroma. You do this, and it kind of heats up the bottom of it a little bit.
Yeah.
So some glasses definitely have a purpose.
So, I mean, literally a lot of thought that goes into each individual beer.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us, how do you get started? Like, how do you decide, okay, we're going to do this one today?
Yeah, so we kind of know what we want on the board.
Okay.
Like, we know what's coming up. The next 2 months, we kind of have everything kind of lined up of what we're going to do. But it's one of those, like, when we knew that this was going to be a good beer. I mean, it's the hops that are in it they're home run hitters, So
and when you made that, it's the first time you'd ever tried it?
Well, I knew that this is like Citra Mosaic, which are like the two big boy hops. Everybody uses those. You can probably go to any brewery around, and there's that combination.
Okay.
So we knew that was going to be kind of an easy winner.
Yeah.
And then we threw a little bit of Nectron, which is a New Zealand hop in there. Kind of brings out some danky, weedy notes to it. So for that one, we kind of knew what this one was going to be. So when we came and we opened this, Jeff and I, usually we'll sit down and we'll talk about, has there been anything that you tried lately?
Right.
Is there any hop that we want to explore? A yeast strain that we haven't used? We want to, repitch a yeast. We want to do whatever. So we'll concept together, and just like, or this one, we might have, not this one, this is a bad one. We might have done another one for the first time, and we go, okay, we really like this, but we want to change this a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll sit down and kind of taste through them, see what we want to change, or see if we don't even want to do it again, or, how does it sell? Like that Kolsch beer I was talking about up here, it doesn't sell well. I think it's hard to say Kolsch.
I liked it.
Yeah. It's in a little small glass, which a lot of men don't want to hold, like a little skinny glass. So, I mean, and then the thing is, I knew I could tell if someone was drinking the Kolsch in here, I'd just be like, hey, what brewery do you work at? And they're like, oh, how did you know I work at a brewery? It's like, because you're
nobody else is drinking that.
Only people that drink the Kolsch. So
from inception of the idea of a beer until you got it up on the wall, how long does that normally take?
I mean, if we know the recipe and we write it out, we order the grains. Once the grains are here, a brew day, we'll brew a beer in a day.
Okay.
It'll move over to the fermenter, and then it spends, usually a couple weeks in the fermenter.
Okay.
it finishes out. If we dry hop it, it'll spend another, couple days in there. We'll crash it, meaning we'll just get it cold. All the solids will drop out, so you don't see a bunch of hops floating around in it.
Yeah.
And then we'll drop as much solids off as we can, and we'll either transfer the beer or we'll leave it in the unit tank, and then we'll carbonate it. Once it's carbonated, we'll move it over to the serving tanks, and then it's ready to serve. So like that one right there, that literally went over to the serving tanks yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday afternoon.
Well, you did a good job. Tastes fantastic.
Yeah. And we tapped it this morning. So.
Look at you. You picked a brand new one. Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever had here. Like I said, not much for beer.
That's a popular beer. That's one of those that come back quite often.
Yeah.
So yeah, people, if it's not on, people are like, where's Ken versus Ryu? Do y'all know what Ken versus Ryu is?
The Sega game?
Street Fighter.
Yeah. I remember it.
Yeah.
You may be a little too young for that.
I want one of the arcade games. Like I want to put it in the corner and challenge people. Yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter.
Yeah.
What are some of your best performers?
Definitely everybody has a tractor. When we can that one, the cans fly out of here.
Yeah.
That's, every Monday morning I do a draft beer report to kind of see where we are and everything. Está Bien Conmigo, which is our Mexican lager. That's a clean beer. So and you said how long does it take to, for these to be in the tank? If it's a lager, usually we'll have a kind of a minimum of, 30, 45, 60 days, depending like on how the flavors are on it.
Sure.
Lagers are going to take a little bit longer to ferment, a little bit longer to condition. But our Mexican lager, we just flip a tank with that in there.
Yeah.
Mexican lager's in it all the time. So we have another batch of that ready to go. As soon as that one kicks, we'll move that one over. So yeah, those two are really good. All of our hazies, and we're kind of starting to be known as a hazy brewery.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that the Untapped Awards just came out today, and we got, for one of our hazies, we got a silver medal, and then everything else that we medaled in was like a lager, a stout, and one more. What was it?
Yeah, sir.
The Kolsch maybe.
Yeah.
But they're all clear beers. They're all like clear lagers, and we just did really well in that. And
not what you were expecting, though?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
And you just got a national ranking, right?
Yeah. So we, it was the USA Today has a top 10, or I guess it's the best 10, and we were nominated as one of the best new breweries in the U.S.
That's incredible.
And then from there, the nomination was awesome. I don't even know who nominated us, but we got nominated for that. We didn't put our name in there, in the running for it. Someone else nominated us, and we just got 6th place in that. So, and that was up to like votes, so you could get online and vote. And so yeah, we got 6th place, which is awesome.
Number 6 new brewery in the nation.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's great.
Now we're super proud of that.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh, come back to the names.
Mm-hmm.
So, who comes up with those?
I typically do.
Okay.
And I did not want to do that at first.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Jeff, and we're like, if we just name this like, I don't know, random name, single word,
right?
That beer was going to be taken, and then people were going to be like, hey, you can't use that. We already have beer named that. So we're like, let's go 4 words for every name.
Okay.
Everybody has a tractor. Like Ken versus Reese, that's only 3. The Hellas is fist bumps are frowned upon. So we're like, if we have long enough names, then no one's going to give us a hard time and repeat names. Yeah,
that's a good one.
But then like the other day, it was Friday, and we were run out here to go to a baseball game, and I was supposed to name a beer, and I was just like, I can't do it. Name it whatever you want. I don't care what y'all name it. Name it. And so they named it was one of the new sours, and they called it fruit salad yummy.
I saw that up there.
Yeah.
I almost got that one.
Yeah. And so
just because of the name.
Yeah, one of our bartenders named it, and I was like, you nailed it. Yeah.
That's perfect.
You got it right. So
so what all, do you host certain groups here?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things are going on here at the brewery on a weekly basis?
Yeah. So we try to, here's the funny thing too. I never thought when I opened a brewery that I was gonna have to entertain people every night.
Right.
Yeah.
And that has definitely changed. So, and it's not just with the breweries, it's like with the restaurants. Restaurants are having line dancing. They're having, everybody's having trivia nights. So, yeah, we do trivia right now every Tuesday night, 7:00. Tonight we're starting to do music bingo. I think that's going to be a regular Thursday night event.
Okay.
Fridays and Saturdays we really don't do much as far as events.
Yeah.
We have a run club that's coming tonight, and I think they're kind of leaving and then returning here.
I saw Big Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have a Connect 4 tournament.
Okay.
Every Monday, and I'm pretty good at Connect 4, and Jeff is too. So we would play, and if you could beat us, you would win a $100 gift card. And if you couldn't beat us, it would roll over to the next week. And so it was up to like $700 or something. No one could beat us. And then people stopped showing up because they couldn't beat us. So we're like, all right. We need
Connect 4.
Yeah, and I will play Connect 4 for hours. I will sit here and play. Whoever wants to play me, I'll play it. And
I like it.
And I'll beat you.
I guess on Friday and Saturday nights, the city center normally has some sort of band or something going.
Yeah, they have concerts down on.
They entertain for you.
That's right.
That's all. It's a good vibe here on the weekends. I mean,
Yeah,
It
really
is. It is.
Get the doors open here in a little while when it gets warm.
Yeah.
I love watching football right here on this couch.
Yeah.
Did I see you guys do cornhole?
Oh yeah. Yep. Starting to do cornhole 2
Okay.
on Wednesday, starting March 19th. So that's a league, but we'll have some extra boards. So like if y'all showed up and we're in the league, you can still play.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's always a good time.
I might need to start a team.
You should.
T-shirts made.
Yeah, that's right.
What about food? You guys do food?
So we've had up until now, we've had food trucks, and we have food trucks tonight. This is the last week of food trucks because our partner Dominic's Woodfire is opening on Saturday.
Okay.
And that's something that we've been working on for months. I mean, it's been a kind of a nightmare. We thought they were going to be open back in April, and then delays kept happening. Health department stuff, just getting everything permitted and run through. But I mean, they've been seasoning. I don't know if you call it seasoning on a wood fire grill, but they've been smoking it so it can be ready. So they're out here on Saturday for the first time, and then they'll be our permanent food partner. So that's the
so they're mobile as well.
No, they're planted back there.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
those shipping containers back there, they put them together, and they're
in-house food now.
2 wood fire grills in that thing.
Their wings are amazing.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Everything they make is great. So
I will have to come check that out
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
My kids love running around out here, so
Yeah,
it's always
good
a
times.
good excuse to swing in and grab a sour and bounce around.
Yeah, and if you don't, here's the thing: if you don't like kids, or if you don't want to be around kids, we got a 21 and older rooftop. So go up there and get away from them. They'll probably throw their ball up there, but then just throw it back down.
Yeah, it works. And talking about the beer too, so if somebody like me who may not necessarily enjoy IPAs or hazy beers or whatever, you guys offer flights too, so you can just get a taste of.
That's right.
How many come in a flight?
You can do 5, 7, or 14. I mean, really, you can do anything in between.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you could go buy a single flight, but the boards that we have are 5, 7, and 14. And it looks awesome when people get that 14, which is like everything we have on the board. They come walking out and like people are getting out of the way and seeing who's getting it. So
I would
pretty cool.
definitely drop that. Yeah.
Have you ever done one with flights?
I have not.
I've always just been a single drink kind of guy, so
Me too.
I am too.
I need to try it.
So what kind of future plans do you have for the brewery?
Oh man, I mean, this is a grind right now. So
Yeah, I bet.
people are like, "You gonna open another location? You can expand?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm just trying to
Keep your head above water.
I'm
Stay
trying to
afloat,
keep it on the rails right now." So future plan, I think, is the really cool thing is we're getting more accolades. I feel like we've gotten we put a beer into a magazine, got some great feedback for that. We're trying to do that more often just to try to get more eyeballs on us. The Atlanta magazine said we were the best new drink, and their drink stuff. We're like the best new Atlanta brewery or something like that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, for right now, it's trying to get more people here at this location. We're trying to really make sure that we have enough beer to go out. We're trying to get beer in the distro, but our focus is really to try to sell beer out of this space right here.
Right.
But as far as like second locations, I mean, it's not even on the radar as of right now.
Like infrastructure wise, if you guys start doing a lot of distribution, do you have to expand or can you do that from here?
No, we would. I mean, really, right now we're kind of capped at 2 batches a month.
Okay.
Just because we have a small system back there. It's only me and Jeff, and I say me and Jeff back there.
Right.
It's Jeff back there. I mean, I am trying to do everything else. So like, I'll get back there and help him keg and I'll can and stuff like that. But he really does kind of pull the load back there.
And I didn't say in the intro, but Jeff is your head brewer.
Head brewer, yeah. And Jeff and I worked together at Gate City for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a head brewer over there, and he came in, and he was like one of the assistant brewers. And he and I just really shared the same philosophy as what we did like in beer, what we don't like in beer,
right?
What we think is silly in beer. And so I knew that when I started, this place, I was like, he'd be a great guy to have here with me. And so, he was actually at another brewery, and I said, all right, man, I'm ready for you to come do this. We had kind of built everything out, and so then he came over, and I've been doing it together since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you guys go home every night, you just smell like hops.
I smell like sweat.
Sweat.
He probably smells like hops. And this was funny. We were going down to Strong Beer Fest. It's down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so we met up here to get down there. And like right before, we had to dose a tank with something. And I mean, we're like not in brewery clothes. We're like in go out to an event clothes. And he put it in there, and I just hear this whistling and this, and it was the cap he was trying to get back on. He had made a dose and it nucleated, and it was just everywhere. And I mean, he's just getting drenched, and I'm just like, just get down, man, just get down. So we like went up to the, we weren't even open, so we went up to the in the cabinet there and got him a new sweatshirt, and drove down there with the socks hanging out the window to try out. So yeah, he showed up smelling like beer that day.
Yeah. You guys do a lot of beer fests?
We try to, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way for us to get, some recognition and some publicity. So yeah, if we can get to them, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
Especially the competition ones. I mean, that's really, he and I both,
Yeah.
are competitive. So yeah, we like to put stuff in there and see what we can do. But yeah, like Swanee Beer Fest is coming up, and I think they just got voted like #1 beer fest.
It's a good one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And
It
so
is.
a lot of brewers out there, a lot of people. It's a good place for us to get some exposure.
My wife and I went to one in Charlotte probably 10 years ago, and it had to be 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Drinking all these heavy beers all day long. Like, all I wanted was a Bud Light. Like, just give me some kind of light, cold beer.
That's right.
Couldn't find it.
How do you think the Forsyth County and Cumming as a whole, do you think it's been pretty accepting of the brewery and been supportive?
Yeah, and they have. I think that, when we came up here, the first thing I said was, we're not going to have, beer for everybody. So if you're coming in here looking for an amber ale,
Right.
we're not going to have it.
Yeah.
And we got some guys that come in here a lot, and they're like, they give us a pretty hard time. It's like, that's just not who we are,
Right.
But, we can go up the street to Nofo. They have a lot of kind of some of the styles that we don't have. Cherry Street has some of the styles we don't have. So, for us to kind of be, I'm not saying like the hoppy people, because Cherry Street does an awesome job too. And really they both doing hoppy beers, but we really,
Yeah.
we think we're the hoppy guys in town.
Are y'all the only three shows in town?
Freedom
Okay.
Mill.
That's right, Freedom Mill. I
Yeah,
forgot
so
about that.
they're a distillery and a brewery. So they do it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that for us it was bringing really hoppy beers up here and not having something for everybody.
Yeah.
Has maybe been somewhat difficult. And
Yeah.
so like we went and got our winery license. So we have a farm winery. So now we have wine in house. We're working on a few other things. So if you're not a beer drinker, that we have some of that for you. And I think that as we bring in food, we bring in wine, we're bringing in spirits,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
And you got the seltzer.
And the seltzer, yep.
Yeah.
So that I think that people are a little bit more like, all right, this is not just a bar, it's
Right.
not just a brewery, it's more of a social hangout space with, food and drinks.
Well, and
Yeah, it's great for that too.
I think most people probably wouldn't think that a brewery was family friendly, but it really is.
Oh, we absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And as I've came up with the concept for this place, I really tried to make it be a place where I'd want to come when I was 21,
Yeah.
31, 41, 51, with kids, without kids. And so that's why we really have, like the main room out there.
Yeah.
We have this area in here, if you want to chill. We have the rooftop, there's plenty of patio space. And so really, it's like we don't want families to not come. I mean, there's families in here all the time.
Sure.
And that's just the way it is. And we're not going to tell people you can't, have kids in here. So yeah, I think that, it's a social space that we make.
I think it's great. And I think with the awards and everything else, I mean, getting that recognition, it'll be great for the county in general too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing too. I do think that, in the city center, we're a business that, we can operate farther than just right here.
Yeah.
Homestead and The Well, they make their food, but they serve their food there. Myth and Legend has a few locations, but for us to get, be published in magazines, nominated for some of these awards that are national awards, I think it does put focus back on
Absolutely.
our county, and not only our county, but the other breweries that are up here,
Sure.
too. So it's not just you're coming up here just to come to our brewery. You can go hit up the other ones that are, around the area too.
Well, it's kind of a good segue there. So we're both in leadership for side.
Mhm.
I know last year, year before, you guys did something for them, right?
Yeah.
Where you made a beer for the.
That's right.
for the
Yeah,
group?
us, Cherry Street, and Nofo all did a beer called Coming Together.
Yeah.
We all teamed up with a charity. Ours was Leadership Forsyth.
Perfect.
So we had a night that we released the beer, and a bunch of the proceeds went to that. And then
Yep.
the rest of that week, a smaller amount went to Leadership Forsyth. And we want to do it again this year. We're trying to plan it
Yeah.
right now. Last year we released that mid-April. It's not going to be mid-April, probably
Right.
be more midsummer. But yeah, definitely want to keep doing that. We'd love to give back. We'd love to partner with people. And that Leadership Forsyth partnership has been awesome for us.
Have you done it yourself?
No.
No, you should. It's
I
cool.
know,
It's cool
I know.
group.
I want to.
And the beer was awesome. The can was even more awesome.
And the shirt, yeah, it was, The whole thing was really cool.
Had
And
everybody, like Kevin Talent was on the can.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Was it really?
Yeah, had a little bunk tie going on front
Yeah.
leg on the can.
yeah, so it was really cool.
It's pretty neat. So I've got to mention this guy because he's been mentioned in every podcast and he has a record going now. It's the police chief, PJ Gervin. So he come up here and mess with you guys every month?
He doesn't
No?
mess with us. He's up here. He's not up here like putting me in handcuffs or anything.
Yeah, well, if he gives you a hard time, let
Yeah.
us know.
No, he's up here a lot. He's a cool dude.
He is a good dude.
Yeah, I
Well,
like to see
we were here for Leadership Forsyth. We came to visit you,
Mhm.
and that's how I got to hear about you. But he was like, "You guys need to buy beer here because it goes through the city taxes."
Oh, yeah, nice.
He was really pushing that.
I like it.
PJ repping the local taxes.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So you got leadership aside. Do you guys do anything else for the community or in the community?
Yeah. I mean, with people come in here and they ask for a donation, of course we can't give them beer, but we can give them gift cards. So like today, there's a teacher that came in here and, they're like, our teachers have worked really hard. We want to give some stuff away. So, we'll always throw some gift cards their way, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely do want to do more stuff like that Leadership Forsyth event where we released a special beer and then gave, part of the sales back to stuff like that. I wish I could do it quarterly. I mean, really that would be it. But I mean, I thought that when January got here and it's, January and February a little bit slower, I'm like, this is going to be some time for me to catch back up. And I didn't catch up. And now I'm sitting here like, man, so that whole charity thing for first quarter didn't happen. Second quarter, I'd like for it to be Leadership Forsyth. And I'd like to do, for a year of something like that. We donate to West Forsyth. They have our logo over there on their football lacrosse field. And so, we always try to make sure that we give back to our community and make sure that people know that, we are here. We are part of the Cumming Forsyth County community.
Also. And right here in the center of it, too. Less than a mile from our office, which could be dangerous. It's good, perfect location.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
what else you got, Spence?
Yeah, so obviously you recently started your own small business.
Mm-hmm.
We have a small business. Mm-hmm. What do you think are three of the biggest success factors in starting your own business?
Get a partner that can keep up with all the finances.
Because I'm
telling you right now, man, if I had to do payroll, we would, no one would have a penny in their pocket right now.
Yeah, our ship would sink without this guy.
So it really was making sure I put the right team, around us. And as much as I want to be back there turning valves and, really smelling like hops, that's what really Jeff is here doing. And he's doing an awesome job of that. Same thing with our, general manager, front of house. Our general manager and the team, they do an awesome job. So I think that we really do have a very strong team.
Yeah.
We don't have much turnover at all here. So that there's a lot of people that are still here and they've been here for a year and a half and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to see. So I think the team, and I said, when we were hiring, I was like, join the team. And so, coming from, athletics, I and my boys too, they play sports.
Yeah.
Not as much to play sports, but to know what it's like to be a part of a team and be held accountable. So I think that that's one thing that's very important. Have the right team around you. Number two, I think for me is get up every day and keep going forward.
Sure.
There's a lot of days where you're going, you kind of get beat up the day before. Might have a bad review. People don't like that there's kids in here. We don't take cash. People don't like that.
Right.
And you're just like, man, I'm trying so hard to make everybody happy. And then I see this negative review on something stupid like we don't take cash. If they knew why we didn't take cash, they'd probably be like, oh yeah, we get it. It's safe. It's safer for our employees.
Sure.
The lines move quicker. They're not having to count cash at the end of the night. So yeah, but it's getting up every day and going, man, even if yesterday was bad, it's not about winning every play. It's about winning the series or winning the quarter or ultimately winning the game, so you might have an interception, but if you sit there and hang your head and let it get to you, you're probably going to throw another one. So it's just get up every day and get back at it. I think the other thing too really is work-life balance. I mean, for me, it is work and life, like work and family only. I mean, there's really I'd love to see Andy more often. He lives not far from here at all.
Yeah.
I don't see him enough. But for me, it's the work, it's the brewery, and then family life. So, to make sure that I give my adequate time to both.
I think that's cool. I mean, it's a completely different industry than what we do, but identical goals for the way we approach it.
Yeah.
You have to be that way. Other than those three things, do you have any specific tools or practices that you implement to make yourself successful?
I'm still working on being successful.
Yeah. I think you've done. I mean, look at this place.
I think that aspects of it are successful.
Yeah.
But the whole, we're definitely trying to win the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm constantly talking to other breweries, other businesses, and, what's working for them. I got a lot of friends, and that's the thing. This industry really is, we're tight knit.
Yeah.
So I know I can call Nofo, I can call Cherry Street, I can call, Chase, I can call all the people, I can call the guys at Gate City, guys at Jekyll, I can call Josh.
Yeah.
And say, hey, what do you think about this? And they'll give me an honest answer to try to help me be more successful. We do the same thing in turn. We're a pretty open book on the way we brew, what we do, what we think, splitting ingredients, splitting cans, however we can do it.
Yeah.
So,
rising tide lifts all ships, right? I mean,
absolutely. You get that right.
That's huge.
That's cool. All right. So, well, I would say you've had a lot of success.
Thank you.
If you could go back to the beginning prior to getting to this point and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, man. One piece of advice.
I'll give you one. You should have started sooner.
100%.
Yeah.
I started when I was 45.
Yeah.
I should have started when I was 25.
Yeah. I mean, clearly you know what you're doing.
Yeah. But I mean, I did. I just started for other people when I was younger. But yeah, absolutely. I tell my kids that too. Try it now, fail now.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard if you're failing at 45, 46. I'm 46 now. You know, there's not a whole lot of time for me to make up. But when you're 25, you can fail a few times and still, you know, get it right. So yeah, I wish I did. I wish I had done everything in life earlier.
You got to earn your stripes. I mean, you get in there and learn how to do it. But yeah,
absolutely. You're right about that. You know, and I have seen a lot of people that have started things that they weren't ready and it hadn't been easy. But yeah, start things early, learn how to do it. I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't know when I started this place. I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. So
yeah. Especially when it comes to running a business. I mean, learn how to do the law, learn how to brew the beer, but then run the business is a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different piece of the puzzle.
It is.
Yeah. So we as personal injury lawyers recently have a statute that really could have effect on our industry. And from my understanding, you guys had one that was it passed or didn't pass here recently? Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Sure. Yeah. So the Georgia Craft Brewers Guild has been working to try to loosen up some laws to give us a little bit of opportunity to make some money.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a 3-tier system in Georgia, which means that the 3 tiers are manufacturing, which is what we are. There's distribution, and then there's retail. So like Homestead's retail, we're manufacturing, and then our distributor is Savannah.
Okay.
So I have to sell to Savannah, and then Savannah sells to the retailer. I can't sell to the retailer. The distributors can't make beer and sell to the retailer. They, you know, everybody has to stay in the lane.
You got to go through the channels. Yeah.
That's right. And so for us, you know, being a brewery that makes, you know, 500 barrels a year right now, you know, there's not a whole lot for us to distribute. So, you know, for us, if we wanted to walk a keg over to Homestead, that would be great.
Yeah.
We have to go through Savannah. Our margins get pinched. We're taxed on that. They're taxed on that. And so by the time that the customer is drinking a beer from Homestead, our beer is $10. And, you know, that reflects on us. They're upset that, you know, our beer is $10.
Right.
But everybody has to make their money on it. So it was what we were trying to do. I think we still are, is to, you know, loosen up some laws for us to be able to distribute, you know, in a small capacity.
Yeah. More directly.
Yeah, more directly. You know, and I think here's the thing, that if we can grow to the point where we need a distributor, I don't want to go get a bunch of, you know, box trucks and, you know, tractor trailers.
Exactly.
So I want to need that distributor. But right now it's like, I don't necessarily need them for every single thing that we do.
Yeah, makes sense.
But they are a partner and they're awesome people. It's just the system, the way that it's been set up for so long, I think could use a little bit of tweaking. So that's one of the things in that this past bill that we were trying to get passed. Another one was sales to go. Right now we're capped at 288 ounces, which is like 4 packs of our 16-ounce cans. So if you wanted to have a party at your place this weekend, you couldn't buy a case of beer. You would have to come in the next day and buy more, come in the next day and buy more. The two of you would have to come in and buy it separately. We're trying to be able to sell more, you know, to-go beer from here,
Makes
cans,
sense.
kegs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other one was just donations. So like when people ask us if you know, we did this event where someone wore a beer and they're like, can you give us beer? No, we can't give you beer, you know? So, well, we can't bring our beer, you know, we'd have to go through the distributor, through the retailer to then serve it. And so that's one of the things we're trying to get to where we can, you know, donate beer.
It all seems very reasonable to me.
Yeah, so too.
It does.
Yeah.
So anybody watching, let your reps know.
Yeah. Give them a call.
Absolutely. Well, you want to go in a quick fire?
Yeah.
Cool. So we like to close out the podcast, not really close it out, but next segment, go into what we call quick fire questions.
Okay.
1-word answers if you can do it. They never end up being word answers, but start out with some beer ones. So I think I'd already know the answer to some, but lager or IPA?
IPA.
Always.
No, just most of the time.
Does it depend on your activity, what you're doing?
100% it does, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Give me an example, like when you just want a nice hoppy IPA.
Okay, we had a beer that we won the IPA Wrecking Bar Strong Beer Fest.
Okay.
It's called This One Slaps, and we're coming out with it again. And it was like Saturday night. I think we were watching college football.
Okay.
And I put it into a giant glass and just drank on it for a little while.
Yeah.
That's an IPA, a big IPA. So that's a good time for that. When we're in between baseball games, you know, when we're somewhere, we've been out on the field and it's hot.
Right.
We want a lager. Nice, crispy boy. Yeah.
Nice, cold.
Yep.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Favorite non-beer beverage?
I mean, I've been on carbonated waters recently.
Right. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah. And I don't even know which one's my favorite. I kind of am trying them all.
They're all good.
Yeah.
I had one that was a mojito flavor, LaCroix and mojito. That
Yeah.
was awful. But other
I've
than
had that one's
The
terrible.
limoncello LaCroix is great.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's
We're a
good. That
big
one's
fan of
It's
that one.
refreshing.
I really want to know the answer to this one,
Yeah.
but favorite non-Crooked Culture beer
Ever?
ever?
Oh my gosh. Desert Island beer.
Desert Island beer. I like how you phrase that.
I gotta go Pliny the Elder. That is the beer that made me want to make great beer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're out of Santa Rosa, California. And that's really, when I was saying I want to make
Yeah.
beer, that was always my bar.
How did you discover one from Santa Rosa, California?
It was like the highest rated one out there.
Okay.
And, I was like, I got to try this. And at the time, my wife's cousin lived out there. And I think she got me for like a Christmas exchange thing. And so they sent me a case of Russian River beer. And it was awesome. And like 12 bottles of Pliny and Blind Pig. And it was awesome.
I've got a lawyer buddy that sends out Christmas gifts. And it's a beer of the month thing. And they send you a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And get to try all over the nation. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I don't like most of them, but go ahead.
All right. So we know you're a Braves fan.
Mhm.
Favorite Brave of all time?
Ooh. Dale Murphy, man. Growing up.
That's a good one.
That's
a good one.
That's who I was cheering for.
Yeah.
I mean, as a little kid, it was Dale Murphy, number 3.
I think you can tell how old somebody is based on that answer. It's either Dale Murphy or a little bit younger. They're going Chipper Jones.
Yeah, Chipper. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder who it is now for the kids. I mean, my boy
Would have been Freddie, but he bailed on us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he had a chance to be the next one. We met Michael Harris the other night. He was at one of my boys' practices and got to hang with him for a little bit. He practiced with us for 2 hours. He is a legit cool dude.
He seems like
I've
a
heard
really
that.
cool dude.
Yeah.
And super fast.
Yes.
It's insane how fast that man can run.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the season?
For the Brave season?
Yeah.
We're going to the World Series, baby.
You like it?
Yeah, man.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I like your enthusiasm.
3 more weeks, 2 more weeks?
It's getting
3
close.
weeks. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a new catcher now.
Mm-hmm.
Drake Baldwin.
I was reading an article about that. So I guess until Murphy comes back.
Yeah, but they say he could take over.
Baldwin's our top prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be exciting. I'm ready.
Me too.
Who is someone you would like to see in a Braves uniform?
Besides my children.
I
heard they have a shot.
Is that your retirement plan?
No,
Kids in a Braves uniform?
retirement, man. They wouldn't have to give me a dime. I'd just be happy to see them do it.
Andy says they're really good.
Yeah, but let's see. But players that are out there, what do we need? I mean, I really wish Freddie was back.
Yeah. I
Really wish Freddie was back. And I like Matt Olson, but man, Freddie was the next guy that was going to have a statue out front.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
All right. So here's a good one. Who's a person that's had the biggest impact on your life?
I mean, my wife, I guess.
Awesome.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. All right. So then you get to have dinner with any historical figure ever. Who's it going to be and why?
Man, you're asking some tough ones.
Yeah, we like to get deep on the Bettis Musgrove show.
Okay. Dinner with anybody.
And then there's a better follow up to that one, but I'll let you pick them first.
Okay. Man, dinner with anybody. Historical figure?
Yeah, whoever
Anybody.
we say historical, but our last guest said his grandfather, so it can be anybody you want it to be.
I was going to say my grandfather. I never met my grandfather.
Never got to meet him?
Mm.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to, yeah.
All right, so you get to meet him for the first time. You guys, you're going to dinner. Where are you going? And what are you ordering?
Coming here.
Coming here?
Coming here.
Just having a flight?
And having some Dominics and having some beers.
I like that.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, it is. What's your favorite thing to do at the end of a stressful day?
I'm sorry?
What's your favorite thing to do at the end of a stressfess day?
Go watch my boys play baseball.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
I mean, it is my even when they're doing bad, it's just it's a stress reliever.
Yeah.
Because it takes all my focus. All my focus leaves here and it goes on to that. So.
You said they're teenagers now. Are they playing high school ball or are they travel ball?
They're playing travel ball right now.
Okay.
My oldest son's going in 9th grade next year.
Okay.
So they're at a school. It's an all boys school. So there's no sports right now. So yeah, next year they'll both be playing middle school ball. I guess 9th grade is that what you do? Middle school ball.
High school, middle school.
Yeah.
Spenser's got a funny story about trying out for the high school baseball team.
Yeah.
Not making it, and his dad wrote an article about him in the newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lot of sympathy for that.
What's your favorite vacation spots you've ever visited?
Oh I got to have two here.
Okay.
So I got, they're both family vacations.
All right.
My family goes to Hilton Head.
Okay.
And we go, we used to go multiple times a year. But now we go one time a year and we go over New Year's. And that's always a good time. It's cold, but not many people are down there.
Yeah.
We chill. There's not a lot of time to be on the beach because it's windy and cold. And so we just get to hang out. And
you play golf?
No, I used to play golf. I played high school golf.
Oh, nice.
I don't think I could break 100 right now if someone paid me $1 million to do
Been
it.
playing since
You don't need to.
I don't.
It's fun when I'm out there, but yeah. And then the other place is Paso Grill, which is like just below St. Pete Beach in Florida, just outside of Tampa.
Yeah.
And that's where I go with my wife's side of the family. And we started going originally down to go to spring training.
Yep.
And my father-in-law played ball, and so that's where he was in spring training. And so they had been going there, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, when they first got married, or I guess when they first got married. So we go back there every year, and it's a great time. It's like where my boys learn to walk. It's my oldest son took his first steps down there.
Yeah.
We do this picture every single year, the yearly picture that we've been doing since they were little
I saw that when I was talking to you this morning.
You can see him growing up. So we do that the first morning before we hit the beach. We have to take that picture.
Yeah.
And it is like just perpetual silliness from those two, trying to see if they can drive you crazy.
One's older than the other, right?
A year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
The younger one, substantially shorter in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they caught up quickly.
Yeah.
And now I think the older one's got
Now
it.
he's taking back off.
It was really neat seeing those
Yeah,
pictures.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, probably. I was looking at your picture. But
No, it's all good. That's the one picture
Facebook
that
stock.
everybody like talks to me about. They like that one. So
that's neat. All right. A couple more. One material item you can't live without.
I mean, I wear my hat pretty much every day, and I got good hair.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's part of me.
I like it.
Yeah.
Who does your hats?
We've been getting these from One With, which is right up the One With Outfitters, right up on 400.
We got a guy making us some shirts. He's trying to get us to do some hats.
Yeah.
Spenser says he's not a hat guy, but
No. We got some cool hats. Yeah, they do a good job. They've been doing our hats since we opened.
cool.
Yep.
Favorite quote you live by?
Oh man. Quote. Can I give you my favorite word?
Yeah.
Is that one on there anywhere?
It's whatever you want it to
It's
be.
fortitude. I use
Okay.
that all the time. Gotta have fortitude.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I also like this one, slaps. That's a good,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good quote.
One more. I didn't think about this until right now. So when you're brewing beer, are you listening to music? You doing podcasts? Or are you listening to?
Music.
Okay.
I listen to podcasts if I'm not back there. But when you're walking away from the radio and or the speaker, it's hard to kind of keep up with stuff. But I love podcasts. I mean, I listen to podcasts. If I'm in my truck, I'm listening to podcasts. But if I'm here working, I'm listening to music.
What kind of music you listen to?
There's a band that my bartenders hate it. They're called Susto, and they're pretty much Susto is what's on, or Susto Radio. They're a band out of Charleston. I've seen them a bunch of times, and they're just good chill music. And dude's got a great voice and cool songs. So
Andy's a big Tool fan. Are you a Tool fan?
yeah, I like Tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boys. Did you see the video? My boys playing Tool.
No,
Yeah, so they, my boys play music. Did he say that?
no, he didn't tell me about them.
Yeah, my
Play
boys
music.
play music too. Yeah, my younger son is a drummer and a guitarist, and then my older son's a bass player. And they were playing. I can't remember what song it was, but yeah, they're playing Tool songs.
Tool's not easy
It's
to
real.
play, I imagine. I know nothing about music either, but
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
What's your favorite podcast? I don't know if you said that.
man. So I mean, brewing podcasts. We're always listening to those things. Those are always good and helpful. But if I'm just trying to chill, like I love true crime. I know that's a weird thing.
Oh, I
I'm
love
a true
true crime.
crime
Yeah.
podcast guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the stuff on TV, I just watched the Gabby Petito one.
Yeah.
I watch that too.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I like that stuff so much.
My wife likes it.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
There's the old school Unsolved Mysteries channel right now.
The original True
Yeah.
Crime, yeah.
So
That's awesome. Well, Pat, I appreciate you joining us, man.
Yeah,
I really
thank
do. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up, anything like that you want to get
Cool.
out there.
you can find me here. We're at a baseball field.
Yeah.
You can find our beer here. And now we're going into distro. And if you follow us on Facebook
Okay.
or Instagram, Crooked Culture Brewing, we're going to start trying to put out where our beer is in the wild pretty regularly. So if you can't get up here, you can get your hands on it. But we'll always have cans up here. So if you want to take it, share it. We'd love for y'all to do that.
Cumming City Center right when you pull in. Can't miss it.
That's right.
And then, so all the social handles, Crooked Culture Brewing.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. Awesome. You got a website?
Yeah, it needs some work.
Okay.
CrookedCultureBrewing.com.
We know a guy can help with that.
Well, I might get him to do it.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you doing this.
No, thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Learned a ton. So
Yeah, we did.
I'm glad you set this one up, Spence.
Yeah.
And as always, you can find us, BettisMusgrove.com, social media handle, Bettis Musgrove. Get the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Check us out. Come grab a beer. It's awesome. You'll love it. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.